Why I am marrying an older woman. Because the world has always misunderstood love. They think it is measured by numbers, by the years written in age, by the illusions of youth. But my soul has learned something truer. Love is not a season of life. It is not a fleeting spring meant only for the young. Love is a fire that burns through time, that chooses not by years, but by essence. And the essence of the woman I love is ageless. When I look at her, I do not see someone older. I see a woman carved by experience, tempered by storms, and yet still glowing like the sun. Do you know how rare it is to find a heart that has been broken yet still loves with tenderness? Do you know the strength it takes to carry years of silence, loss, and struggle, and still smile as if light was her only language? That is why I am marrying her. Because she has lived, and in her living she has gathered wisdom, grace, and a kind of beauty no youth could ever mimic. A younger woman may shine with innocence, but she shines with certainty. She knows what it means to stand alone in the dark and still walk forward. She knows the weight of sacrifice, the age of patience, the depth of loyalty. And when she gives me her heart, I know it is not the first flutter of naïve affection, it is the full, unshakable offering of a soul that understands what love costs and still chooses to give it. That is a gift beyond measure. That is not love I wish for. It is love I worship. They whisper in corridors. They ask in their shallow curiosity, why an older woman? And I laugh, because their eyes are too blind to see what mine have seen. They see lines on her face, they see poetry written by time. They see chapters of survival, strength, and grace. They see what she was. I see what she is. And what she is everything I have searched for in vain across kingdoms. So let them question. Let them doubt. Let them mock the prince who broke tradition, who chose differently. They do not understand that true royalty is not found in palaces, but in hearts. And her heart, older or younger, carries the crown I will forever bow to. That is why I am marrying her, not despite her years, but because of them. Because in those years lies the woman who was made for me. When I think about her, it feels as though time itself pauses to listen. There is a stillness in the way my soul leans toward her, as if all the noise of the world falls silent, and only her presence remains. She carries a depth that cannot be imitated, a depth that comes only from walking through fire and surviving it with grace. That depth is what draws me to her more than anything. Because I do not seek someone who only knows the sweetness of life, I seek someone who has tasted its bitterness and still chooses love anyway. She is that woman. She is the proof that scars do not take away beauty, they add to it, shaping it into something eternal. Her smile is different from others I have known. It is not the careless smile of youth. It is the smile of someone who has carried burdens heavier than most, yet chooses not to let them define her. That smile tells me she has lived. She has endured. She has conquered. When she looks at me, there is no pretense, no shallow curiosity, there is understanding, as though she sees, not only the prince, but also the man beneath the crown. And that is a rare gift. In her gaze, I feel unmasked, seen in ways I never thought possible. She does not love me for what I represent, but for who I am when I strip away the titles, the duties, the expectations. She loves the man that even I sometimes fail to see in myself. And perhaps, that is the truest reason I am bound to her, because she is not a mirror of what the world demands, but a reflection of what I truly am. With her, I am not a prince chained by legacy. I am simply a man who dares to love without fear. She makes me understand that love is not about fitting into society's idea of what is right or perfect. Love is about finding the one soul who makes you feel alive, safe, and understood. And I have found that soul in her. They speak of years as though they are barriers, as though love must respect the boundaries of calendars. But what are years in the face of eternity? What are numbers compared to the strength of two hearts that have chosen one another? She is older, yes, but she is also wiser, stronger, more radiant because of it. I would not trade her wisdom for fleeting beauty, nor her depth for shallow innocence. For in her I have found not just a lover, but a sanctuary. There are moments when I look at her and feel as if life itself has been waiting for this union, as though all the roads I walked, all the storms I endured, were only leading me to her. She carries an elegance that no youth can mimic, a strength born from years of falling, standing again, and refusing to be broken. That is the kind of beauty the world does not celebrate loudly, and not the beauty of resilience. She is not a fleeting spark. They whisper in corridors. They ask in their shallow curiosity, why an older woman? And I laugh, because their eyes are too blind to see what mine have seen. They see lines on her face, they see poetry written by time. They see chapters of survival, strength, and grace. They see what she was. I see what she is. And what she is everything I have searched for in vain across kingdoms. So let them question. Let them doubt. Let them mock the prince who broke tradition, who chose differently. They do not understand that true royalty is not found in palaces, but in hearts. And her heart, older or younger, carries the crown I will forever bow to. That is why I am marrying her, not despite her years, but because of them. Because in those years lies the woman who was made for me. There are moments when I look at her and feel as if life itself has been waiting for this union, as though all the roads I walked, all the storms I endured, were only leading me to her. She carries an elegance that no youth can mimic, a strength born from years of falling, standing again, and refusing to be broken. That is the kind of beauty the world does not celebrate loudly, and not the beauty of resilience. She is not a fleeting spark. She is a fire that has burned through countless nights, steady and unwavering, warming everything around her. And I find myself drawn not just to her light, but to the way she has mastered the darkness too. When she speaks, I hear more than words. I hear experience woven into every syllable. I hear wisdom hidden in the soft cadence of her voice. Her silence even holds meaning, a kind of gravity that pulls me closer, demanding that I not only listen to her but learn from her. With her, I do not feel the need to perform, to wear the weight of expectations on my shoulders. With her, I can simply exist. And that is a rare freedom, one I had never known in a life where duty always eclipsed desire. She does not see me as a prince destined for a throne, she sees me as a man yearning for love. That truth makes her irreplaceable. The world will whisper its judgments, measuring love with numbers, comparing souls by age as if time could diminish worth. But love does not live in numbers, it lives in connection, in the way her hand fits into mine, in the way her laughter eases the heaviest parts of my heart. When she looks at me, I do not see years between us. I see eternity stretched up before us. Her maturity is not a wall between us, but a bridge that steadies me when I falter. She teaches me how to love without fear, how to embrace life without apology. That is why she feels less like a choice, and more like destiny. There is a quiet defiance in loving her, a rebellion against a world that tells me I should want something else, someone younger, someone more convenient. But what do they know of my soul's hunger? What do they know of the peace I find only in her presence? Let them talk, let them judge. I would trade kingdoms, abandon crowns, and walk away from every privilege I have ever known just to keep her hand in mine. For she is not a chapter in my story, she is the entire book I never thought I would write. Every time I stand in her presence, I feel as if the world itself pauses to watch the two of us. There is a gravity in her that angers me, something that steadies the chaos in my heart. Her presence does not demand attention the way shallow beauty does, it commands reverence, as if the years have sculpted her into a masterpiece no artist could ever recreate. I am captivated not by what is fleeting, but by what endures, and in her I see endurance woven into the very fabric of her soul. She has lived, she has lost, she has rebuilt, and it is in those quiet scars that I find the most radiant form of beauty. When she looks at me, I do not feel small as I sometimes do under the weight of crowns and expectations. Instead, I feel understood, completely and entirely. There is no judgment in her gaze, no demand for me to be more than what I already am. With her, I am not a prince, not a symbol, not a future king. I am simply a man, vulnerable and real, stripped of titles and pretense. She does not ask me to carry the world for her. She only asks that I carry her heart with the same devotion with which she carries mine. And that, more than anything, is why I cannot imagine a life without her. The world measures love with shallow metric. Show young, how beautiful, how convenient, but love is not a bargain struck with the eyes. It is an unspoken truth, a resonance of souls, that neither time nor circumstance can dilute. She is not my older woman, she is my equal, my companion, my confidant. Her years do not separate us, they bind us, because they have given her a depth of soul that mirrors the depth of my longing. When I touch her hand, I do not feel the ticking of clocks, I feel eternity, stretching long and endless, promising me that what we share is not fragile, but indestructible. I know why. There are moments, quiet ones, when I find myself watching her from across the room. The way she carries herself, calm and steady, while the world buzzes with noise around her, it stirs something inside me that words could never fully capture. She does not need to raise her voice to be heard, nor fight for recognition. Her presence alone is enough to command respect. And that to me is power. Not the kind handed down through bloodlines or crowns, but the kind born from life lived deeply, from battles fought in silence, and victories earned without applause. When I look at her, I do not see AJC strength etched into every glance, every movement, every word. Sometimes I wonder if she knows what she has done to me. How her laughter has become my favorite sound. How her wisdom has become my compass. How her touch has become my sanctuary. She has shifted the very ground beneath my feet, teaching me that love is not found in grand gestures alone, but in the quiet, unshakable certainty of knowing that someone sees you, truly sees you, and stays. Her love is not the reckless fire of youth, but a steady flame that refuses to burn out, and it warms every shadow I carry within me. I imagine the life we will build together, not as a fantasy, but as a truth waiting to be lived. I see us walking side by side, not as a prince and his wife, but as two souls bound by something greater than time. I see her teaching me patience when my world rushes too fast, grounding me when duty threatens to consume me. And I see myself offering her the devotion she has long deserved but perhaps never received fully, the kind of devotion that promises, I will never leave, I will never falter, I will never stop choosing you.